Let's talk about everybody's favorite topic, Celtics injury news. Should Celtics fans be worried about Jrue Holiday's and Jaylen Brown's recent surge of injuries? We're going to break that down here on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and we also do go live for every single Boston Celtics basketball game. So if you guys want to join us, go on ahead and join us later tonight as we will be live at 5:45. Nope, I lied. 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm terrible at math. You guys see that. You know that. But you still love me. Looking for this link. You guys are going to find this thumbnail. Click Celtics versus Spurs tonight. We will be live. Come hang out with us. If you guys haven't already, go on ahead, hit that sub button for me, and spam 18 if you guys are joining. That way, myself, producer Lopez, we know who's going to be partying with us later tonight. Let's talk about Jrue Holiday and how he's missed the last 3 games with an injury to his shoulder, but this does make 10 games in total. Boston has had to play basketball without their starting point guard. Holiday, of course, really is a little bit older in terms of NBA players. I mean, what, he's 34, 35. Al Horford's 38 years old, so he's definitely up there. So injuries are prone to come. But Celtics have to keep adjusting to playing basketball without Holiday. But how much longer do they have to play without Holiday? Well, so far, the Celtics are 7-3 when they're playing without Holiday. They're 6-2 without Jaylen Brown, and they're 21-5 without Porzingis. Thankfully, Porzingis has not had any injuries recently, knock on wood, but he did miss the first month and a half rehabilitating from that surgery back in June. So Joe Mazzulla was asked, should we start to be concerned about Holiday and Brown's injuries, or is this just like a precautionary thing? In Joe Mazzulla fashion, he turns this into a positive and also a very weird way to look at this. Mazzulla, on if there are any long-term issues with Brown, Tatum, and Holiday. They're not issues, they're opportunities. Never change, Joe Mazzulla. Never change. But he is right? The Celtics have to move on. Injuries are a part of the game, part of football, part of baseball. They're just part of sports. So the Celtics, having one of the best rosters in the NBA, would be expected to continue to win, even though they don't have Holiday, or Brown, or Tatum, or Porzingis. Hopefully not all at the same time. And because we've been playing without Holiday, and we've been playing without Brown, and been playing without Porzingis, we have been able to see other bench players thrive on the largest stage when it matters most. Let's talk about Luke Kornet versus the New York Knicks. This was a must-win game. The Celtics were only 1 game ahead of the New York Knicks as they are 2nd and 3rd in the Eastern Conference. 10 minutes before tip-off, we get the alert that Kristaps Porzingis will not be starting because he is sick. So now you play without Jrue Holiday, now you play without Torrey Craig, and then you play without Kristaps Porzingis because he is sick. So Luke Kornet was going to get some hefty minutes going up against the New York Knicks and their very stacked roster. And I think Luke Kornet just absolutely smashed it out of the park. From the start to finish, the Stay Ready group showed why they are the most reliable bench, one of the most reliable benches in the NBA. 14 points, 12 boards, 3 blocks, and he went 7 for 7 from the field. 100%. That is reliable as it gets. Not to mention those 3 blocks all came in the first quarter against Josh Hart, who could be a Celtics killer if we let him. But Luke Kornet absolutely denied him. And one of the things I love about Luke Kornet here is that he will play defense regardless. This man cannot be put on a poster because he continues to play defense. He doesn't care if he gets put as a meme on Twitter or somebody's like, oh, on his head. Luke Kornet just wants to defend. You're supposed to get up there and try and defend around the rim. And Luke Kornet always does that. Show Kornet some love. Spam his number 40 in the comment section down below. Let's talk a little bit more about big moments that the bench players have been able to have because of these injuries, a.k.a. Mr. Payton Pritchard and Sam Hauser. Before I talk about them, let me talk to you guys about this. PrizePicks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. You can play in over 30 different states, including Cali, Georgia, Florida, and Texas. How do you play, Allie? Well, that's the easy part. All you guys have to do is just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 1,000 times your cash. That's right, up to 1,000 times your cash. Football season may be over, but please don't shed a tear. Basketball season is in the heat of it. Collegiate and professional, you can choose your favorite players, your favorite teams. You can mix and match. You can go college. You can go professional. You can even mix in maybe a hockey if the Bruins are playing, for example. And baseball is ramping up. Maybe some Red Sox picks later down the road. So if you guys want to go on ahead and pick minimum 2 players, maximum 6 players, and make your picks today. To get started, all you guys have to do is download the PrizePicks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the PrizePicks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game. Pritchard is a little bit different than Luke Kornet and Sam Hauser, in my opinion, because Pritchard has carved out more of a consistent role in terms of that first rotation, but not necessarily in the starting lineup. Pritchard knows how to step up. We've seen this. He can drain it from anywhere on the court. He can play defense against some of the biggest players, but it mattered going up against the Dallas Mavericks the first time without Luka Doncic and with AD, but he didn't play because Jrue Holiday was out. So that means Pritchard was going to get more minutes on the court. And he did nothing but show up. 25 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, 6 for 8 from downtown. Did we end up losing this game? Yes, unfortunately. But imagine how bad it would have been if Pritchard was not 6 for 8 from the three-point line. I wish I could get a little bit more consistent play out of Pritchard at times, but the fact that every single time his name is called, he knows how to impact the game in numerous areas. Payton Pritchard talked a little bit about his skill set and how he can help the Celtics starters off the bench, said, look, I know my team needs me to be aggressive, and that doesn't always mean shooting. You know, making the right reads, and if they're not there, then shoot the ball. But I've got to attack closeouts and create 2-on-1s and make the right reads. And we saw that against the Miami Heat when he had 10 assists and 8 rebounds and only 5 points. He could have absolutely tried to take over and go for a triple-double, but that's not Pritchard's playing style. Pritchard knew his shot wasn't falling, so he immediately switched to assists. He immediately switched to offensive rebounds and kept trying to help the Celtics win in every facet. And that was without Brown and Holiday. So going ahead, if you want more Payton Pritchard highlights, like this video for me. Hopefully we see over 1,000 likes on this show because I want to see more Payton Pritchard highlights. I know you guys do too. And if you could pair them with this guy right here, Sam Hauser, we're back in business, baby. Against the Miami Heat, Sam Hauser got put in the starting role because there was no Jrue Holiday, there was no Jaylen Brown, and unfortunately there was no Torrey Craig. Kristaps Porzingis actually did play in this game, but he didn't play against the Knicks a couple nights ago. But Jaylen Brown was the one that was out against the Miami Heat, which is why Sam Hauser got the start, and he did phenomenally, especially in the first quarter. 15 points in the first quarter. While Jason Tatum was 0 for 5, Sam Hauser stepped up. He added on 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 5 for 8 from the downtown mark. Because when you don't have players like Jaylen Brown and Jrue Holiday in, you allow Sam Hauser to be able to space out the floor a little bit more because you primarily are just getting a catch-and-shoot three-point guy around the perimeter. Not to mention, we blew out the Miami Heat. Did they also not have Jaime Jaquez Jr.? And did they also not have Tyler Hero? Yeah, but Sam Hauser showed up. And that's all I'm going to say. When you talk about what Sam Hauser has to say about his three-point percentage and his three-point shot, he said, look, it just ebbs and flows on the season. You're not going to be able to shoot 40% each month, each week, each day. So it's just sticking to the process and not necessarily the results of everything. Seeing if you're taking good shots, taking right shots. And because of these injuries, Sam Hauser has been able to find more of a rhythm from downtown. Not saying these injuries are great, but I'm saying injuries happen. And you can take a positive outlook from it, just like Joe Mazzulla did, saying they're not issues, they're opportunities for our bench to thrive. Because, look, we saw Jason Tatum go down in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals a couple years ago against the Miami Heat. He played through it, but he wasn't the same Jason Tatum. If you had players that had been in that stay-ready mode all year long, maybe it could have been a different outcome. Celtics have a deep enough bench to be able to win without the starters. We just hope that these injuries aren't prolonged because obviously the Celtics starters are what make them so great. So we're going to see everybody in action later today. We're live at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Come hang out with us on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. Look for this icon, Spam18, if you guys are joining.